Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantel Francis, with both my amazing co-hosts all here for the new year, back together again. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm so great. I'm recovered from my COVID stint. So that was a fun holiday and ready to be back at it,
Ready to be back at it. I didn't mention to anybody that that's why you weren't around necessarily, but thank you for sharing. And I'm very happy that you're feeling well enough to, be able to chat with us today. So thank you for being so open and honest about where you're at. Like
anytime.
And Fanta, how you doing tonight, Fanta? Sporting some new jewelry.
I am well. I have been like expertly avoiding COVID. I've had to test a couple of times. Haven't had any symptoms, but like shit's getting wild out there. Like spooky.
Well, what I think is really interesting about it is the fact that like most people in Vancouver, people are like, nah, it doesn't exist here. We do everything daily. We don't really shut down. We shut down for like 2 weeks. We're like, and everybody was that I knew out west was like really pretty easy, like la-di-da, blase about the whole thing. And now every single person I know on the West Coast is like either has it or like their best friend just got it, And so it's just surprising because they haven't really had that many cases out there. And so it's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I have 2 good friends who are nurses, and one of them works in ICU. So, but apparently, like, there's not more people. Like, they're not seeing an increase of people. It's just like the cases are wild right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've also been dodging it, so I'm going to hopefully be COVID-free for life, but we'll see. We do have some friends joining us. So, Jelly Donuts says #free Darrell. So is that with him maybe getting a little bit too tipsy, staggering into the wrong building and getting the cops called on him?
I did not hear about this. What?
Oh, I didn't send that to you? What?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Instagram anymore.
Let me send it to you. Did you hear about it, Fanta?
Yes. He got arrested.
He got arrested?
Yeah, he got arrested because he was like wasted and he couldn't find his way back. He couldn't find his way back to his like hotel and he like passed out in the hallway or something. Like he couldn't find his way back to his like hotel room. And I read the TMZ article and I was like, honestly, like this has almost happened to me. So poor guy.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm just like, yes, you still have some fun left in you. It sucks that he didn't have somebody with him to like kind of steer him the right way, but he was probably like, man, I'm cool, I'm good. Like, and just like, I can get there by myself. You trust that Darrell is going to be able to get home. And then if he's in like not a city that's his own, of course you could easily just get lost. So I've definitely been in similar situations before and be like, where am I kind of thing. I would just sort of hope the cops would have just taken him home, That's, I guess, that's too Canadian.
I feel like getting arrested for public intoxication, like if you're passed out, like who cares? Like if you're obviously being like a menace to society, then like, yeah, put them in the drunk tank. But like if you're passed out, like that person just needs to go to bed.
Yeah, like they're not hurting anybody.
At all.
Except for themselves.
I'm going to send this to you now, Michelle. Hold on. Are you still off of Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because it's toxic?
No more toxicity in 2022.
I sent it to you. Well, hopefully, though, that he doesn't get any, like, tarnish. Like, he's not going to get, like fingerprinted, is he? Or is it just, like, put him in, like, a holding cell?
I think they probably just put him in a drunk tank. Like,
yeah.
I don't think he's got like a record or anything.
It's not a big deal. Why did they have to arrest him? In Canada, they would just have driven you home.
And of course, like they're making it seem like, ooh, this crazy thing happened. Oh, he's so fucked up. He got arrested. Like it's like they're trying to make it into a story that like something's wrong with him.
Yeah, but it's like you literally
Like it was New Year's.
It's just embarrassing, I think, is the most of it. I mean, and him being like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I don't remember getting here." Ugh. But it was New Year's. Who cares? I'm fine with it. Yes, Happy New Year, Debut. Thank you for being here. You got arrested for being lit. Like, come on, police. Exactly. Exactly. And it's not like he was lit on some like psychedelic where he was acting wild and crazy and maybe unsafe. Like passed out on the ground. That just means that like if they called an ambulance, he would have gone to the hospital and got some IV and like gone home. You know, I don't think they would have arrested him. I mean, I don't know about the States though. Everyone was wasted on New Year's. Absolutely. I agree. I think a big deal was made out of nothing. I guess it's because he's in the public eye that they decided to like make it more public and take him to jail. So it's unfortunate, but I still support Darrell. I'm actually happy that he still goes out and has a little bit of a fun time. So
me too.
So ladies, it's been like 3 long weeks, 4, like a month since we've talked about All-Stars. Since we even talked about the reunion of Challenge main season. Any highlights from there that you can remember that you might be able to pick out of your memory?
I just found it painful. For the most part, honestly. I'll be honest, I couldn't watch all of it. Like I kept being like, so cringe.
I definitely didn't watch the performance with them like holding her up, like like having her body surf, crowd surf, whatever, like with them wearing alien ears and masks. Like I was like, guys, like this isn't a thing. This isn't Safety Palace, Safety Palace. It's not that. Alien doesn't have the same charm, in my opinion. The only other thing, there's 2 other things that I liked about the reunion. One was I did enjoy how they kind of came in slow motion, kind of like 2 by 2 and kind of came in this way. I thought that looked, visually appealing. I like that. And I also liked at one point, Maria Menounos, the host, how she kind of went in on Fessy a little bit. So, and she was like, well, like, that means that you're an asshole. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she kind of went in on him a little bit and didn't let him get away with like a vague answer. So I was happy about that. But everything else was pretty boring. We didn't learn any new tea or tea that we cared about. Fessy trying to make some sort of fight happen with CT, and he's like, that's okay, I don't need to do that. Which I thought was amazing. It's like Fessy's trying so hard to be relevant through like some sort of rivalry with CT, and CT's like, I don't need the fame from this, so I'm good. No. I still run my season. So that's about it.
I have a confession. I didn't watch the reunion. I just couldn't.
I told you all the best parts right now, so you are still good.
It makes me so mad that there was like one of the reasons why I didn't watch it is because I was like, they're gonna do a fucking performance of Alien. Like it wasn't bad enough that we had to watch it like during the season, and it's just like very like Mean Girls, like the challenge. Stop trying to make Alien happen. It's not gonna happen. Like. Nobody asked this. Like, there's no fans like on like Reddit or Twitter or like Instagram that are like, oh my god, where do I get like the EP copy of Alien? No one's asking for this.
So I mean, I do know now what I will be getting you, Fanta, for your birthday.
A CD playing in my car.
Yes, a physical CD of Alien, signed by Emmy.
No, it needs a record player. Like it needs to be on a record.
That would make it kind of cool, to be honest.
What's that?
Like the one LP that you have is Alien by Emmy. I'll get you like a retro radio record player.
It'll be on the top of my record pile.
Do you actually have records?
I do. I used to DJ. I have a whole.
Oh yeah, of course. I just think everybody's like, an MP3 DJ nowadays, and just like fades song in and out. Right. Respect. Respect for sure. Sophie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for joining us here today. We have a new challenge draft champion in Michelle. Do we know this officially? I mean, I didn't really keep up with the points. I can obviously still go back. It's pretty easy to figure out what happened. There wasn't that many fights that happened this season.
And
no hookups.
I have 5 people going into the finale.
Yeah, I know. You're definitely going to have a winner. I don't know if with the points it's going to roll out that way, but
I know
how you feel about it. Like we could just do
honestly though, I could win.
I honestly haven't been keeping track of the points. I need help with that.
You could win with Melinda and Nehemiah. Yes, you could. So do you want to just scrap the points? It's no harm to like go back and go through and do the actual point system with the dailies and all that stuff. Or we could just do winner takes all and just goes to that.
Let's just do winner takes all.
Yeah, why not?
I think that's.
I mean, Michelle's due for a win now, right? How did it go? Wait, Fanda, you won twice now in the last little bit. I haven't won the least amount of time, I think.
I've only won once, I think.
Okay, so yeah, you're due for a win. So,
but I mean, it all depends because to be honest, like we'll talk about it in these episodes, but like I don't have the utmost confidence in any of the people that I have in the final.
Janae, or do I have Janae?
You have Janae. Because for me, like based on that preview, it seems like everyone has struggles, but like. I don't trust Teck and Ayanna as a team to actually pull out a win. You know, I don't trust that Janelle's not going to be able to like complete it and is going to get fucked up with her back. Like that was such a prelude to it. Is going to screw over Darrell. Darrell won't get first. He'll get second or something. And like otherwise, Darrell's the only person that I have that would like actually win. MJ's good and I think is a good partner with Jonna, but he's been out of the game so long and I just don't know that he's going to have the stamina for it. Also, there was the preview clip of Jonna being like, I just want to quit. And obviously, I don't think she's going to, but I just worry of what's going to happen.
Wait, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through the points and we'll just see how much the point difference is and see if it even matters. So,
okay.
Because if it's like, if you only have one of the two people and you only get 25 points or whatever, it might not be enough to like match something. So, yeah, I'll take the points. It's not really a big deal. I did start writing them down in my notes, so I just have to kind of put them all together. So I'll just do that. But thank you, Sophie, for supporting Michelle. It looks like it's going that way, but we don't know yet. We'll soon.
Season isn't over yet, baby. Anything can happen.
True. Darrell has COVID right now. Jeez, Louise.
Amy Sue.
I haven't seen that on the
Amy
news.
Sue, I have something to tell you. Everyone has COVID right now.
I just had it.
I mean, I've been avoiding it. Like, it has.
I'm honestly starting to feel a little left out.
And to be honest, Chantel, I mean, like, I work every single day in public with customers. So, like, I have the highest chance of getting it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that these cats that I'm sitting over here are going to give me COVID. So, definitely in a lower risk lifestyle right now.
Yeah. And Toronto, like, where I live, like, Christmas market was so crazy. I was working during the Christmas market in the distillery. So I was surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people all the time. So just kind of inevitable.
Oh, wow. Okay, now we know why the main challenge reunion was 3 hours, because the third hour was the first episode of the challenge in All-Star Season 2. Oh, come on. We're just catching up. We haven't talked to them in a month. I want to know what their opinions of all these things are, you know? Okay, like Save the Palace happened. Well, the Save the Palace has happened. Adrian, if you go on Teck's YouTube, there is definitely a behind-the-scenes video of him making it into an actual LP or, you know, a release. And so they have everybody singing their part and doing like rap bits and on the single. And so Save the Ballot has happened, and what better channel to be doing it on is MTV. So it's a thing. Like, I'll watch that video.
It's probably like the first music video that MTV has played in 25 years.
Do you think it has room beside ridiculousness?
Fucking ridiculousness.
I did hear, though, that the reason why ridiculousness is on is because Rob got an enormous amount of money to continue with the show, and the show still actually does perform very well. And so they just keep on pumping it out there because it actually does perform. But I'm like, if it's the only thing that you're playing, people will eventually be watching it. But
it does well because there's nothing else to watch on the channel. Like, what do you mean?
But I think even better than just like that, though, I guess. Hi, Natalie. Natalie says, Happy New Year. Hope you guys enjoy the holidays. I mean, the holidays were okay. Definitely, I'm going to hope that next holiday, this pandemic isn't part of the main conversation at holiday time. I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With family. Because we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So it was okay. You guys? Barta, did you watch all of The Masked Singer?
No, I didn't get a chance because my sister was the only one in the family that hated us watching it. I got my brother-in-law into it, but my sister was not down, so we couldn't watch it as often as I would have liked. We got barely like a few episodes into it though.
It was pretty fun. I know that's kind of your holiday show that you watch with your fam, so I think that's fun. Super fun. And we know what happened with Michelle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So boom. Hi, Sophie. Thank you again for your super chat. So give me a 24-hour challenge marathon. So like just yeah. On MTV, I would obsess with that. Like MTV Challenge is a show that I like watching old episodes over again, like the earlier ones. And I don't care where it is. I can just like play it in the background. It's content that like I can have as just background music. And if it was on 24 hours, I think people would get hooked into the show and watch the main season probably a little bit more. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think so. 100%.
I do too. Well, is there any other challenge news going on out there, or should we get into episode 7 of All Stars?
Yeah, really...
Let's get in.
Yeah, let's
get in. Okay. So this is where we are pretty much firstly introduced to Save the Ballot, or I think the second episode actually. And this is we see Jonna in there. No, Jonna, sorry, Jasmine in there. She's like dancing to this song, really in it. And then we see in her confessional that she's actually faking it and lying, and that she just is like pretending to be part of the King's Palace. What do you think about her duplicity? Pat's shaking her head.
I thought it was kind of dumb. Like I was like, yeah, you don't really have a choice. Like this is your alliance now. Like the other side of the house is attacking, like they want to throw Laterrian and you in. So that's not your alliance anymore.
Like pretending that she doesn't want to be a part of it. She is a part of it, and she will definitely be thrown in if she could. Like she's not going to be saved by the other side at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's exactly.
So Brad, like,
Brad
and Janelle were two people who kind of annoyed me quite a bit this season. Like Brad a little bit less than Janelle, but I found that Janelle was always kind of giving advice and being the person that's like kind of a little bit of a know-it-all on how to play the challenge properly and how she's playing the challenge. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody in one of my chats was saying that she is the Karen of the Challenge All-Stars. What do you think about her new name being or her being a Karen?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I kind of do. How don't you agree, Michelle?
I don't know. Like, I find she does have a very, like, sort of pinched energy sometimes. But I think that, like, it was like, I don't know. Maybe because I'm more influenced because of the episode yesterday, but I still just like her. She doesn't bother me the way other people are bothered.
Like, I'm one of those people. We're gonna get to the part that really started to annoy me about her shortly. But she's giving Brad advice about like the game, and I'm just was like, why is Janelle giving Brad advice? But we'll put a pin in that.
I mean, Brad, like, come on, he's a mess.
So we next see that Casey's talking to her fiance, and I wrote down "kiss of death" because we know that those Skype calls usually mean something bad. But this was just like a nice, friendly call, just saying like, "I love you, I miss you," etc., etc. So I was like, "Oh, okay, so she's probably going to be going in, and she's probably going to be going home." So that was my first thought. So we get to the daily, and it's the monster truck one called Steer Clear. TJ walked up in flip-flops and was like, choice, okay. But this was a really good and fun daily. What did you guys think about that one? So that's where they had their partner harnessed kind of horizontally, and they had to catch flags as they kind of levered them back and forth on these trucks.
I love that.
You loved it?
So fun.
My absolute favorite was Ayanna when she's just like, like she was screaming so loud, and she's not a woman that I would picture having that kind of scream. And you know, they're playing like "I'm like a bird," and you're just like seeing Ayanna screaming, and she's just so awkward. Like, I was obsessed with that moment.
I just love watching them do shit like this, like on trucks and stuff, because they are not like the young, super fit people anymore. They're just like genuinely going for it. And I don't know, it's just more entertaining.
That's totally true. It is much more entertaining because like it takes away this whole thing where people go in there like, okay, I'm gonna go and be like fierce. It's just like it's them, like it's just regular people like doing this thing, and that does make it more fun to watch.
100%. I don't watch like American Ninja Warrior, as we're saying. Like I'm watching this because you get was like Ayanna screaming while they're playing "I'm Like a Bird." Like that's what I need in my life. Also with this challenge, we see that Nehemiah and Melinda working really well together. They went first, and they managed to get, I believe it was 20 flags in their go, and they didn't get to see anybody ahead of them. So I thought that was a really, really competitive time. And then everybody else after them didn't really do well until Brad and Jodi come along, and of course they get one more flag than Nehemiah and Melinda. So they got 21 flags, and that means that they are going to win. And the life shield holders was Jasmine and Latarian, but they came in last, but they got to use that. So it ended up being I'm like Ayanna and Teck that were going to be the losers for this and going straight into the arena. How did you guys feel when Brad and Jodi won that one?
I was upset. I just, it's poetic justice of like the series of these 3 episodes, because it's like Brad takes all the likability out of Jodi for me. Like them as a partnership, it makes me just dislike her more. And I'm never like, I never hated her, but I'm never a huge fan of her. Like I recognize that she's really strong and good. But like, I don't know. I just am like, ugh, stop winning. Like, I want to see, I love when it's like back and forth and like we're riding for like the Nehemiahs who has never like fully won, and the Melindas who've never been to a final, and like she's had such a rough year, to the crazy Ayannas, to the Techs that are so entertaining. Like I just want to see these people succeed. So it's frustrating that they get the shit into the stick again, you know?
And also Janae and MJ got 19. Like, they did pretty well. I love Janae. I love Janae and MJ together. Whatever's going on with them, we can discuss. But like, I really, really wanted Nehemiah and Melinda to win this one. I just wanted the power to shift, just like you're saying, Michelle. I wanted to see the underdogs that just keep on getting thrown in there, and I just wanted to see them have an opportunity to have some power in this game. It's been all pretty much from their side of the house that had the power the most of the time. So it would be nice just to shake it up a little bit. So I too was nonplussed about that result in the end. And especially too that like the bottom team was going to be Ayanna and Teck. So chances are they're going to be going against somebody else from the King's Palace, which I'm just like, I don't want that to happen. Brutal. So I do remember hearing though at the end of that challenge when it was MJ and Jonna, he said, "Good job, baby," and I was like, "Good job, baby," like that kind of like that's kind of boo talk, I would say. Did you guys hear it?
I didn't hear that, but I have been so choked every single episode because I'm like, when are they fucking hooking up? And like the finale is like next week and they haven't shown any of it. And I'm straight pissed.
Me too. I think they're not showing it. I think it's happening and they're not showing it.
It's probably happening and they're not showing it, but a lot of people are also saying that it may have happened in between. So the spark got ignited on the show and then maybe things progressed between seasons and then they're back. Maybe then they're fully together next
on season 3. Yeah.
So wait, they're both on season 3?
Correct.
Oh, girl.
So maybe they don't hook up till then.
That's
or maybe,
true.
as you said, they start hooking up in between. I mean, I respect that because then she's probably just like, yeah, I need to like tie up my other loose ends here before I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just be like, I don't want to be cheating on my husband on national television. Yeah. Like, let me go and handle my business, and then we can start talking. Kiss to insight.
Thanks.
I do want to see it though, because like I'm living for this relationship. Like I want to see more of it. Not disrespecting her marriage, but like I don't know. I like this partner, this duo. I want to see more of it. So give us what we want, please, MTV. So Nehemiah's hoping that his friendship with Brad is going to be enough to keep him out of the selection process. Did either of you have any sort of hope that Nehemiah was not going to be thrown in there by his friend in real life, Brad?
I did actually. I was like, Brad is not going to like do that directly because like a few episodes ago when he had to vote that way and like Nehemiah was upset, like Brad was very disturbed. He was really, really disturbed by that. So I was like, I don't think.
Well, I thought that he wasn't going to directly, like as we see later on, like directly vote.
Yeah.
But he's not going to save him enough to keep him off the chopping block. I just never, because like who's he going to put up? Right.
This is probably the episode where I started saying like, shut up, Brad. Because he was just starting to annoy me. So I was like, Nehemiah, there's no way that Brad is going to be saving you in this situation. It's just not going to happen. So we see Brad and Jodi when they're doing their winners deliberation and trying to decide who's going to be up for selection. Brad wants to show loyalty to Janelle and Darrell, but Jodi wanted to put up MJ and Jonna, which I thought was interesting that he wanted to save, he wanted to show the loyalty. And it made sense. His logic did make sense for the fact that there's more likeliness that Darrell and Janelle are going to win something and protect them, even though that's not how things shook up. It was actually Jonna and MJ that did win the next week. But I thought that was smart-ish of Brad to be thinking that way, that like they have a better shot of having power and keeping them safe in the future. Surprising, Brad had a smart thought. So no surprise to the audience, though. Nehemiah and Melinda are going to be up for selection, as well as Casey and Kehoe. Oh wait, that's what happened. Sorry, and then I'm just messing things up. Scratch everything I said about Jonna. But why did they put up? Why wasn't Jonna an option? Is it just Casey's even further out of the loop than Kehoe?
No, it's because
sorry.
Because they knew that Casey's not going to get the votes, and they were just close in the alliance.
That's why, because they talked to Kehoe about it, and like he was like, all right, like I'm not mad about this, but then Casey got like super pissed, and then he was like, well, like let's see, because like I trust them until I don't have to trust them, and then Casey was really pissed because she's like, well, like Darrell and Janelle haven't had to do this, like why do we have to do it?
Well, why wasn't Jonna and MJ in there? Now I'm thinking out loud because like I didn't actually think.
She was like mad about that too. I think there was just probably like a part of like Brad and Jodi that were just like scared because like performance and size wise, like just the idea of pissing off Darrell and Janelle or MJ and Jonna, they were like, let's not mess with that. Let's do Casey and Barta. Like they're smaller, they're not as like threatening. It's just like
not worried about them coming back and being angry. Yeah, I guess it was less threatening thought or choice for sure. So Brad starts saying like I tried the best that I could. He didn't try very hard. Like it's like that's sort of my first shut up Brad came that I wrote down. He didn't try. Like he just has to say to Nehemiah, like, look, we're not playing on the same side. Like you have to go up against somebody that you're working with. It's very clear who your alliance is, and the people that I'm working with, we have to put you up. Like just be completely honest and transparent that way, but just be like, oh, I tried the best I could. No, you didn't, because if you tried harder, you could have gotten whatever you wanted to happen. You know, in my opinion, like Jodi would take his lead. So
yeah, anyway. I mean, that's the thing. Like Brad isn't like a politician. Like he can't talk and explain things, and like he's a one note type of guy.
Yeah, and beady eyes. Kehoe does tell Casey that they are up on the board. She is pissed, and rightfully so, because she has won some power and kept some of them safe. So it would have been nice for them to return the favor, or at least let her know maybe that she might be a possibility. So I would probably be irritated that I'm expendable, and there's a lot of other people that could have an opportunity to go up on the board that haven't even been up on the board yet, even if they have the numbers. So I love them blurring out though. Like, so Casey was drinking a Red Bull, and like everybody knows what a Red Bull is. And blurring the Red Bull, like it looks exactly like a Red Bull can still. Like, what's with the blurring? Whose idea is that?
I know, but like they're just like, we're not going to give them free advertising, but it's like, yeah, like we all know that's the most one of the most iconic fans in the world, Red Bull.
I don't know if people still drink Red Bull, to be honest, because like I know it was very popular at one point, but like I feel like people don't drink Red Bull anymore.
I know lots of people that drink Red Bull.
Really?
And there's flavor in Red Bull. You can get like blueberry Red Bull, mango Red Bull.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that when I used to DJ and I'd have to stay up late, I would have the yellow edition one all the time.
When I used to bartend, I used to have like a Grey Goose, sugar-free Red Bull. Like, gross. I remember I used to go into Bonanote. The Grand Prix is when all the streets are closed in Montreal, and like all the people from Europe come down to watch these games, these races, and it's just like so much money is made over this weekend. And so I go into this restaurant, Bonanote, and it actually reeks on like the last day, like the Sunday, of Red Bull and vodka vomit. Like that's actually the only smell I can smell. So I actually can't drink vodka Red Bull at all anymore because it actually smells like vomit to me now. Because the whole restaurant smelled like Red Bull and vodka vomit. Just putting that out there for you so you can just think about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What a great image in my mind.
Janelle is talking to Melinda, and Melinda's just talking about maybe trying to get her vote or whatever, just talking to see where she's at in the game. And this is where I started getting irritated by Janelle being in kind of a power position and having the numbers on her side. And she's saying, like, you know, you guys are celebrating like your wins, like kind of talking to Melinda like she's been playing the game so badly and made it so obvious that she's in an alliance, so she has to like throw her in. And I was just like, Janelle, like just say that you're not working together and you're throwing like you're gonna vote for her to go in. Don't try to be like, oh, you it's because we had to break up your alliance. You know, everybody knows the alliance is going on. They know where the line is drawn in the sand. And so I found it kind of condescending how she was speaking to Melinda. And Melinda's just like, you know what, we're not supposed to celebrate when our friends win, like we're not supposed to celebrate. And so I thought Melinda was in the right here, and I was just starting to get
I agree with that, and I don't appreciate this double standard of like you guys are being so obvious about your alliance because it was it's so obvious what the other alliance is, like because you guys all kept each other safe, and the way you are with each other, it was already clear anyway. So they're just gonna have fun with it and make the show more entertaining by celebrating this alliance, so we get like a nice back and forth kind of thing. Like that's not, it doesn't make it bad gameplay in a game like this with people like this. Exactly. It's not the same as like a game of Big Brother where you've never met anybody before. Like everyone knows each other. There's already relationship. Like they know what's happening.
I thought that was so insanely stupid for Janelle to be that condescending to Melinda. I thought Melinda dealt with it like a champ, but I thought it was so insanely condescending, and especially because I was like, I'm sorry, Janelle, did you just wake up from being asleep for the past 6 episodes and then now you're like coming after Melinda and saying all this shit? I was like, fuck you.
She really has
power.
Yeah, the thing is, she doesn't. It's funny because, like, she isn't as entertaining as the other people. Like, she just hasn't been in a lot of the episodes.
No, she's not entertaining at all. I think she has the least amount of confessionals over everybody, including people that have left the game. So, like, even more than like Leah, I think. Maybe not, but like, she hasn't been giving anything. So, thank you, King's Palace, for giving us something on the show, because like this alliance isn't really cutting it for entertainment value.
Yeah, that alliance is such a bummer. Like they're so serious and they're like, oh, how dare it? And it's like. They're fun. Like this is fun for us to watch.
I'm
being lame.
I'm kind of sad that Darrell is on the bad alliance. Like I'm not really a fan of, and Jonna's there too. Like I'm just like ugh. Like I roll. Like Teck is so entertaining. How could you not want to be in Teck's alliance? He is just such a fun fucking time and is gonna give it his all and is just like so like the best. Like why would you not want to be on a team with him?
It's people that do well in the challenges, right? So you want to align yourself with people that are most likely going to have power, and that's kind of how this has shaken out, unfortunately. So in real life, I probably would align with that other alliance as well, because if they're going to be winning and keeping me safe, that's who I want to be working with. But I might be playing the middle a little bit, and like I don't know what I'd do if I won some power. I might have to, be a little shady, but I think that I would cozy up to the power players. So I think that's why. But I would, of course, I would want to be in Teck's alliance. Like I want to be on that CD, that single of Save the Palace. Like they're probably all so jealous, and we're gonna get to that this episode, most recent episode, how jealous everybody is of that song. They don't even know that there's going to be a single out yet. So Melinda does tell Nehemiah that they are up on the board, and he's like, I wore a beard for that man, which is true. He did wear a beard for Brad.
He glued a beard onto his face for that man.
Man. And that was another moment from the King's Palace that was epic. Like it was so funny. They are bringing it. King's Palace is bringing it, and so I'm wondering, so let's put our tinfoil hat on. We're pretty much at this point. We briefly talk about La Sirena, where they go and have some drinks, and it was completely divided in the 2 teams, and just talking about, the fact that there's that what did Nehemiah said? He started talking loudly and he was kind of egging Brad on, and they just take the bait. They get so upset over everything that the King's Palace does, and it's just like, what? You guys have the power. Like, who cares? Like, why are you so bent out of shape?
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're not having fun. Honestly, if you're the type of person who doesn't have fun and is lame, like, you're just kind of butthurt.
That's true. People just like, oh, you can't have fun without me. But that's actually what I think it was Nehemiah says. It's like, shh, we can't have too much fun here. Can't have too much fun like out in public. And that's funny though that they're making fun of them, the fact that they're not allowed to have any fun. But like the fact that Brad's still like
he's just so uptight and like he creeps me out.
Lastly, before we get to the arena, we see Nehemiah and Brad kind of have the conversation I thought they should have had a little bit earlier when they just weren't on the same side. Just so that there would be no expectations of saving each other if that's not going to be the case. And so I thought it was a decent conversation. I rolled my eyes though, and Brad's like, I barely slept last night. Like,
which is crazy because like, it's not like there's that much activity going on up there.
No, I'm sure he like had a couple glasses of wine. I'm sure he slept fine. Like, anyways, I was happy that they had this conversation. Nehemiah wants to keep the lines of communication open, so that's great. If they want to kind of keep their friendship, that would be necessary. If they're not working together, we at least have our lines of communication open. So that was cool. And we get to the arena, and TJ basically says that the two teams that were down there were going to be safe. So that was going to be Nehemiah and Melinda versus Ayanna and Teck. But still a team was going home. Casey is not fit to be able to participate anymore. And everybody's like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, I'm pregnant. And so everybody's like, congratulatory. And TJ says that, well, I did say that you guys were linked together for the rest of the game. And so since Casey's gone, Kahada is gone.
Devastating. Devastating. Devastating.
Bullshit. It's not just devastating. It's bullshit because just last week, it didn't matter if someone was a partner. I understand that Casey and Kahada didn't get the votes, like they weren't in the elimination. It's different when it was with Kendal and she's like in the elimination, right? Like I get it, but at the same time, especially with the way the seasons have gone with the last All-Stars and like Double Agents and the last challenge, you switch up partners all the time. And if one person can't compete for a reason outside of the other person's control, just let the other two guys compete. And then whoever loses goes home. And then the other girl without a partner has to be partners with the Kahada. Like Latarian and Jasmine became partners. So what the hell? I just think it's a double standard and it pisses me off. It's like how when Sarah got kicked off because of Vinny or whatever, like it's just like you do that sometimes and then other times someone is saved and it just depends on the person. And because it's Kahada, you're just doing this. I don't know. I was very, very upset by that.
Yeah, it is really inconsistent and it just like, yeah, I don't know. Playing the challenge, I guess you're just rolling the dice like every day.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I just assumed that Kahada would have had an opportunity to stay since he wasn't in the lair. And so I was surprised when he went with her. But then, as you mentioned, I was like, well, they've definitely had when people have been tethered before to go out of the game. Now, the reason why I was thinking it might be different from the previous week where Kendal left and then Latarian got a new partner is that maybe they had for this week, it was going to be a pair elimination. And so maybe they couldn't figure out how to change it up and make it like a solo elimination. And so they didn't have that ready to go. And so they just like, well, we'll just keep them tethered and just remove them both. And then my other thought, which is what I was kind of alluding to a couple of minutes ago, was that maybe because the King Palace is the entertainment and having that back and forth, is what's driving the drama of this season. Maybe they're just like, well, maybe we just will have how to leave so we can keep both of these people here so they can fight against the other faction. Oh, not great, because we want to see fairness, we want to see rules, and we want to see people get what they deserve, or not, don't want them to go out like on terms like this. I never liked that personally, but I'm wondering if those are a couple of reasons as to why they made that decision.
It's possible.
It's possible, but I also was pretty annoyed with that. So it's pretty much the end of episode 7. Anything else about that episode before we hop into 8?
Nah.
Nah. So we see the celebration again, though, because all the King's Palace ends up staying. So safety palace. And Joni comes into the room, and they kick Janae out. So I mean, I don't think that Janae was actually as hurt, but she goes over to Janelle, and Janelle seems to be more irritated than Janae was by the fact that they kicked her out. I think Nehemiah was just being like a little bit silly. Be like, you're not part of the King's Palace. You put us in this position. Like, you voted for us in. You can't be here celebrating with us. You don't want us to be here. So I get that he's kind of playing up that role and that rivalry, but I don't think he was actually very mean about it personally. What do you guys think about how this all unfolded?
I thought it was funny. Like, you guys, like, that side of the house always complains about them doing it, but then they're like, oh, what's going on in here?
Exactly.
Like,
if you're annoyed, then leave them alone. Like, it's like they've been the losers, they've been the underdogs, and you're mad that they have a more fun storyline because they're having more fun. Like, I don't understand. Like, just loosen up.
Seriously,
loosen up.
They need to loosen up. Like,
Miss Tina. I need Tina there, and I need her with the King's Palace. I need her to switch sides and be like on the King's Palace.
She would be with King's Palace because she wouldn't be with Brad and
and Jodi. Yeah, no, that's true.
And then Darrell,
I miss her. Yeah, true.
So yeah, she wouldn't have been on that side at all. I can't wait for All Stars 3. Not gonna lie, guys. No.
I know, I'm so excited. But yeah, it was clear. It was
like 6 months, and I'll be all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come around for a while. Well, I think All Stars is gonna come around before the main season, but I think it'll be like maybe in a couple of months, which will be great. I think it'd be perfect to have a little bit of off time. Get us excited again. Thank you so much for the chat.
No, I'm just saying I agree.
So Sophie says, poor Kohatta, he got screwed bad. Thanks, Casey. I mean, she didn't mean to do it, obviously. But what's with, like, the challenge not having pregnancy tests for them as part of their medical? Like, this is dangerous.
I don't know. That is pretty crazy. And, like, I saw that as, like, that was, like, one of Casey's tweets. It was like, make this part of every physical, like pregnancy tests need to be made part of every physical.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if we do these rapid COVID tests, like we could do a pregnancy test to make sure, you know, I mean, I guess if it's early, you might have to have a blood test to detect, but like, I don't know. I think it's worth it to make it part of the medical, like, screening. So I just don't want something bad to happen, and then
it's
like,
just it's happened too many times. You
it's
guys,
every
like every season, someone is preggo, and I get it. It's been a pandemic. Lots of people are getting pregs in this past 2 years, so like great, but like come on, don't ruin the game for Micah Hutta. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
Like, give the boy a chance. That's all he's asking for.
Sweet Kahada. So Dubu was saying, so they aren't showing the MJ Janae hookup. What the F? That sounded juicy. I know. It's gonna, like, maybe we'll hear more about it after the season ends. But it seems like it's been so hush hush. It must happen in All Stars 3. You know what I mean? Because we would be hearing more about it.
Yeah.
Or they're waiting for this season to finish, and then maybe we'll hear some more of the gossip, because it doesn't make sense as to why they haven't showed anything of it unless the Jodi is asked to keep it quiet because of, respect for her partner. And then things happened off season, between seasons.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No more. I'm so nosy. They're old. Oh, just kidding. Just talking about something else. It happened after All Stars 2. Okay, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Okay, so what happened next year? So we did see MJ and Jonna chatting here a little bit. And this is where I'm kind of like, they get along with how they want to play the game. I love how he just lets her take the lead. And like, it's just like kind of one of those like husbands that like lets their wife shine and they just are always in the back there supporting them. That's kind of how it feels. And maybe this is something that she hasn't experienced before because we know her partnership, one being that of Zach, that she didn't have this support in relationship with at least him in the past. So I think MJ really is a good partner to her. What do you guys think?
I think he's great. I stand Jonna getting treated with respect.
Yeah, same.
Were you mad if they showed a clip of
all of the women, but especially Jonna, because she had such a rough go of it.
Zach was such a horrible partner to her, and that clip just reminded me of how god awful he was, and he blamed her for everything, and she really was trying, and it was just so painful to witness. He ruined her.
Yeah,
at that time.
Oh, he was such a like. What's with his like? I just gonna ghost somebody that I'm dating for like a year. Like, who does that? He's so weird. Like, were they living together and then he like stopped answering her call or kicked her out or something ridiculous? It's like, where's the respect?
We were like about to move in together and then he just like ghosted. But that's Zach. Like, even like he kind of did that with Jenna. Like, Jenna was the one that like really like, if Jenna was like back in the day, if she had been like, fuck this, I don't want to fuck with this guy, they wouldn't be married now. So
no, not at all. I mean, Jenna definitely kept working on that relationship. And I'm just like, is he really hot? Is the D that good? Like, I don't actually know what it could be because there's no way he's good in bed. Like 0% chance. Zero. No. Anyways, we have our daily challenge. It's the mini final, which we all love. Dive and conquer. So they're going to be jumping off. This one looks pretty high into the cenote. So I guess they got to use that word again. Into the cenote, and then they have all these bull's heads that have different horn-colored ears or horns colors and like face colors were different. So they had to memorize this puzzle grid piece and then go back, run another half mile to recreate this setup. So what did you guys think about this whole task in itself?
It seemed like really actually cool and difficult. I love things that are like memory based in that kind of way. Yeah, I really liked it.
I did too. My one thing was half the people were wearing life jackets, which I'm fine with people wearing life jackets. But I noticed, though, that Jodi and Brad weren't. So they were fully treading water this whole time. And I'm just wondering, what is the fairness level, do you think, about that? So they're treading water and other people are able to not be concerned about, like, drowning while they're reading the answer key.
I didn't realize that.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's something I noticed. I was like, oh, we don't have a life jacket on.
Oh, I wonder if they gave them the choice. I wonder.
I mean, you definitely can swim faster without a life jacket, but memorizing an answer grid with one would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So that's something that I noticed that I thought was a little bit unbalanced. I do believe that the only two were them two that didn't have a life jacket when they were doing that part. I believe everybody else did.
They're tough. They're tough.
They're tough. They can do it. They can swim. They can tread water for hours. Boom. So poor Jasmine, though. Jasmine, I think I'm done with this storyline. I'm good with Jasmine having heart, Queen of Hearts. She's calling herself. She was scared to jump. she didn't want, don't push me. And he's like, I'm not going to push you, but he wanted to. I wanted him to, unfortunately. How are you guys feeling about Jasmine and her maybe coming back on another season? Like, do you want to?
I love Jasmine, but it's kind of like I'm feeling very much like the Big T effect in like the main season. Yeah, it's just like she's got like a lot of heart, but like it doesn't matter. Like she's never really going to be able to like get herself to the final. And
she's not going to win it. There's no way.
She's not going to win it. Like she's so little and like she's fun to watch.
Anything.
She's super entertaining, but yeah, maybe if she's just there like for fun in the beginning, but
yeah, I was just like, okay, we get it, Jasmine, you're afraid of heights. Like, and then I was hoping that she would be able to bring it all together and take control of that puzzle and get that puzzle done and like show where she could shine. And nope, that didn't even happen. It ends up being Jonna and MJ were able to solve this puzzle the quickest, and Jasmine and MJ are last. So the best friends in this situation being Jasmine and Jonna, one is in the power position and one is going straight into elimination, which is a kind of a shitty position for Jonna to be in because she definitely doesn't want her friend to go home and probably wants her friend to be in the final because she would be somebody more easily to be beat. But chances are she's going to lose to whoever she's going up against in the arena.
Yeah.
Even with Letarian, he's got really hunky this season. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know what it is. I found that he got better looking or like sexier.
I agree.
He's a hunky dude.
Did you notice Ayanna calling out Letarian for cheating when he walks behind her puzzle? They're cheating! It's like they're on the same team, Ayanna. If Katie wins, you win. Like, you're good. And I was just like,
Ayanna is just like such an amalgamation of like so stressful to like watch. She's so cringe, but she's so entertaining and like just funny and crazy. And like poor Teck just has to like manage her.
And she has like this weird crush on him.
Oh my god. I can't.
Did you see like a nice moment also when Letarian is tying Jasmine's shoe, and I'm just like, he wants her to be better so badly because like he had such a good partner, like him and Kendal. If they were still in this, they would still be in this, and it would be really dynamic in that final to have like if it was Letarian, Kendal, and then Melinda and Nehemiah, then Jonna and MJ, and then Brad and Jodi or whatever, or Janelle and Darrell. Like that could have been very, very interesting, you know?
Agreed.
We're both really good at endurance. So we didn't get that though, unfortunately. So Jodi was terrible at this challenge though, which I thought was like, okay, we can see where some of her weaknesses are. Because she apparently didn't notice that the horns of these bulls had different colors. She was only memorizing the colors of their face. And so she was trying to tell this to Brad, and Brad's like, I got my own stuff going on. Like, I just handle your shit. They do end up finishing, like everybody does finish the puzzle except for Jasmine and Letarian. But they didn't have a good showing. This was the first time we could completely see that they are beatable.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I always knew that they were beatable, but like, this was bad.
It was bad.
Next episode was it this episode? Yeah, it was even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Jonna and MJ are the power couple here. And they're trying to decide whether or not they're going to stick with the alliance or if they're going to make a big move. Do you think that they made the incorrect move here, knowing what we know now, with the winners of this elimination being able to go straight to the final?
Like, do you think that MJ and Jonna think that they made a mistake?
Because what they did was they put in Nehemiah and Melinda against Jasmine and Letarian because they didn't want to necessarily, upset anything, and that they wanted to run the final with Ayanna and Teck, But if they had put in Ayanna and Teck wins, they go straight to the final anyway. So you want to run against them, and then you have another opportunity to maybe get out Nehemiah and Melinda the following week. And so just knowing that they go straight to the final, that you're going to be going against them no matter what because they win. I just was wondering if you thought maybe they should have played that round a little bit differently.
Oh yeah, they should have. Yeah, definitely.
Like throwing the people that you want to be running in the final with when we're getting this close at that point, right? You don't want the stronger person to stay. You want an opportunity to maybe get them out. That's what I was thinking. But they did end up just sticking with the alliance and staying strong to that alliance. And so we know that Melinda and Nehemiah are going to be going against Jasmine. And well, I guess it was the four of them first. Who was the other two that they put up against them? That it didn't matter. Oh,
no one had a shield. No one had safety because of Casey.
Right, correct. Casey, because there was no actual elimination. But who were the other people they put up for selection process?
It was Nehemiah. It was Ayanna and Teck.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Duh. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for being my brain for a moment. So what happened at that deliberation? What did I write? The cat sitting has been having fun with my notebook, so I'm trying to do a puzzle here while I'm reading these notes.
Not much happened. I sorry, I keep getting confused with yesterday's episode.
No problem.
But nothing really happened. I mean, the votes
what did happen if they had a party and Ayanna got really upset about the fact that people weren't respecting this beautiful place that they're staying in and that she's not the maid and she's going around cleaning up. Apparently Jodi asked if she knew where her Greek salad was.
Yeah.
And Ayanna found this very offensive that Jodi asked about this Greek salad while Ayanna's cleaning up. And then Ayanna, and so some 5 points here. So Ayanna and Jasmine get into it a little bit because Jasmine's like calling people privileged, I think was the word she was using.
Yeah, it was all about the word privilege.
And calling Jodi privileged.
Janelle was pissed about it too. It was a whole thing.
What a mess.
It was a whole thing. But Jasmine trying to reason with Ayanna, I'm just like, just don't bother. Just let her tire herself out yelling around the villa or whatever. And she didn't need to get involved with that at all. Did we ever see the line when she sang to Jonna, like, I'm not the one. Was it about this fight, you think? Because we never actually saw it. And Jonna is like, no, you're not the one. And she kind of walks out of the room. It was a preview that we saw for many, many weeks. So I don't remember ever seeing the scene.
Can't remember.
I hate when they do that though. Like either just show it because I want to see it. You spoiled the whole season anyways. Like, why don't you just spoil what you actually showed us as well, please?
Exactly.
I do love though that Jasmine does say like, you can't yell at me like this. Your name is not Rhonda. Like you can't yell at me like this. And so I guess her mom's name is Rhonda, not my mother. So this selection was this one I found where Ayanna first says that she promised Teck not to talk, and Teck is not giving Ayanna any room to to say anything at this moment before the selection process, which I thought was hilarious. So then we were surprised that Brad didn't say Nehemiah's name, but I think it didn't matter, and he's trying to like play diplomatically. Whatever. Janelle, I rolled my eyes, was like, I have to respect the people that I've been working with for this entire game, blah, blah, blah. And then we get Ayanna turning to Jodi and being like, I ate your Greek salad and it was good. I ate it up. I didn't even use a fork. I used my fingers and it felt like a man that was there. Like next time he just went so far.
My favorite is when she says, she's like, if I see a beautiful salad there, unloved, I'm gonna love it, or whatever she said. I cackled. Oh man, it was great. And it was so great because she waited till after the vote to say it, and she just is so creepy about it. And Jodi was just like,
Jodi. Jodi's reaction was like,
reaction is like, well, she is so creepy. Like, that's Jodi. I'm like, okay, girl. Like,
yeah, like, and Ayanna won that interaction because she fucked
yes,
successfully.
it was so funny. Ah, yeah.
Definitely she won that interaction 100% because Jodi's just like, I don't, it's just so like frail woman, like scared of this like big woman. Like, Ayanna was just completely taking it too far, absolutely. But I thought it was in a funny way. I would never be intimidated or scared by that. But like, it made for gold television. And thanks for reminding me that I'm going to actually clip it and see if I can post it without getting like a flag, because I thought like that whole thing was so funny. Hilarious. Is that what I wrote down for this episode? I didn't even finish taking notes. Hilarious. I don't think I finished taking notes. So who went down there? Okay, so it's going to be against Jasmine and Latarian, and that's when the sand was going to be falling on top of them, and they had to like move it off while the other person was in another little booth, and they had to make some I guess spokes, or what's it called, cogs, that were in a certain order that all the cogs would eventually turn, and it would raise a flag, I believe. And so I don't know what was going on, but Latarian was just covered in sand and not working well with Jasmine at all. And it seemed as though Melinda and Nehemiah worked very well together, and they got it done pretty much sand free. And
of course, that was not a surprise at all. Like, as soon as they got down, and then I saw what the elimination was, I was like, oh, Latarian and Jasmine are going home, because Latarian is a horrible communicator, and Jasmine is not good under pressure.
Yeah,
not great. It wasn't great. I felt bad though, because like I feel bad for Latarian because he kind of he didn't luck out with the partner that he ended up getting. It would have been interesting maybe if they did a complete reshuffle or something, or I don't know, but having his partner leave and then he gets stuck with the other partner, that just like came in last, I think. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he really got the shit end of the stick there.
For sure.
Really, really did. So now we're on the most recent episode. Yay! So we see Melinda being proud of herself. And I am proud of Melinda too. Fans messaged me after she watches this episode, and she was like, man, like, I like Melinda. And I'm like, I like Melinda too.
Me too.
Definitely won me over.
I said I love her.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? I paraphrase incorrectly.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's been such a crazy, like, because I watched Real World Austin. I couldn't stand Melinda, from Real World Austin up until the start of this season of All Stars.
Really?
Yeah.
I never like loved her.
I just was been like, I don't care for her. And I was like, she's going to do so poorly. And she's just acted with like such grace, and she's just lovely to watch. And like, I love her relationships, like with the King's Palace. Like, I just love that, like, that's who she's like aligned with, as opposed to like the big alliance. Like, I just love how she's changed and grown and become more confident. And she's like, I will always root for her. I love her. I think she's great.
I agree 100%.
So
she's so authentic.
Fanta did say, I, capital LOVE, love Melinda. I never thought I would say this. Watching now. Fanta, that's amazing. I'm proud of you.
I love her.
Definitely come a long way with Melinda myself. I was always just like, I didn't care about her and what's the guy's name? Danny.
Oh, well, we hate Danny. Come on. We hate
like,
Danny.
Like, it was
that was a big part of it.
getting together was cute. Like any budding relationship is kind of cute depending on who they are. But then just how they were on the challenge and always together and always like cuddling and always, it was just too much. And then she was never good. And so I never could get behind her as a competitor because she was just always in a relationship and then going out on any elimination she was ever in. So I love that I would see her on any season now moving forward, that she's completely proved that she can handle her own. I mean, maybe not the final, but up until this point, I think she's been doing a really great job. What's the finger?
The maybe not the final business.
Well,
we are all on equal playing field. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. We are all on equal playing field.
You saw the preview, Fanta. She's
but in the preview. Yeah, but Janelle looks like she breaks her back, and Jonna looks like she quits. So I don't know, man.
I think that Jonna quit is the red herring. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Janelle's back actually something happened. And Melinda hasn't gone to a final, and she hasn't had to do very many of these long endurance things. So I could see her not doing that great. But I want her to do well, and I'm rooting for her and Nehemiah to win this season. Like that's the pick that I want.
Let me be delusional.
Well, you would win. You would win. You have both of those two left. I think I only have Janelle left. Wow.
Really?
Turn.
No, you have Jonna and.
I have Jonna. Sorry, I have Jonna, not Janelle. I meant to say Jonna. I only have Jonna, I think.
I have Janelle.
You have Janelle.
All my hope is on Jonna right now.
Well, I mean, she's
how the mighty have fallen. All right, we see some safety palace, and I love that all those butt hurt other side. Like, they didn't even just name yourself, so I can just call you guys something at least. They didn't even like have the decency to give the other side a name. But I love that everybody was like, Darrell's like, it's catchy, man. Safety palace. It made me laugh. What about MJ kind of hating on it? How do you guys feel about that?
He's just being a poor sport a little bit, but he's just trolling.
Well, he was just trolling because the preview made it seem like he was really pissed, but then when we saw it was because it was like stuck in his head.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
In the shower. That's so. I mean, that's hilarious. Like your alliance, your enemy's song has gotten in your head, and you're like saying deep. Did you guys die when Baywatch music started and we see a montage of the workouts?
What did you say?
When the music for Baywatch, the theme song.
Oh,
I'll be there. And everyone's just like running on the treadmill, or like you see like Nehemiah meditating, like, montage. Anyways, I thought it was hilarious. Their music choice this episode was funny. We start hearing about Jodi wanting to do this for their kids and showing her, that she's 40. So as soon as we heard this, I already knew that she was going to be going in most likely from the previews. Like they really made it clear that she was going to be going in, and it was most likely going to be against Janelle and Darrell, which is so annoying because I'm going to watch it no matter what. I don't need to know who's going to be in a particular elimination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just irritating because I knew what the outcome was going to be because of what I'd seen in the preview. Same. So the whole episode was just kind of a flop for the fact that I was spoiled by MTV.
Exactly.
Irritating. We do see MJ and Jodi worried that if Nehemiah and Mel won, they might want to retaliate against Jonna and MJ, which is true. So what do you think about them being worried about that? Do you think that Nehemiah would actually retaliate in that way? Not with who's left. I didn't think that was really
no
chance.
I mean, like maybe, but he's playing smart. He's going to make whatever decision makes the most sense for him to win,
True. So we hear for the first real time, or maybe the second time, about Janelle and her back and her saying this to Darrell. We kind of briefly talked about this in the beginning, and I was so on Darrell's side here, being like, well, then just quit. Like, I don't, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. You know your body. You don't want to ruin your surgical career, whatever. Like, do what you got to do. Like, what really did she want him to do?
I think she just wanted to like make it so that the decision was, she didn't have to feel bad about making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of begs the question. It's like, if you know that that's that bad, then why would you go on the show in the first place?
Yeah.
Because you know, like, I hate this concept of like people being like, I had no idea it was going to be like this for the second season. It's like, come on, like, you saw the first one, like,
and also like you've been on the challenge before, so like you know it's going to take certain things with your body. You always have to lift stuff. You always have to jump on stuff. So if you've got back problems, like I would die in 2 seconds on that, you know?
absolutely.
So why put yourself in that situation? And I immediately was frustrated for sure with her because I was like, you know, Darrell wants to be sensitive, but like, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're putting him in such a bad position because you're saying, oh, I don't want to take away a spot from someone else if I end up having to quit in the final. Like, that's kind of what she was saying, right? Like, the fact that you care more about that than the person that you've chosen, that you're like working with to the end. Like, that's the person that you should care more about screwing over than the other friends in the game, because you're trying to win with that person. And if you end up crapping out in the final, like, as he said, maybe they'll switch partners at the end, or maybe there'll be something where it's separated and you can choose to split the money. Like, we don't know for sure. So if she at least makes it to the final, and then if she craps out, she went as far as she could, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Hello, 420. Hello, ladies in chat. Thank you for joining us here. We're
420.
Talking about episode 9. Hey, whatever. 420. I was thinking 420, but I just said 420 because I couldn't read the other part of it.
420, baby.
Get it? Weed friendly. Marijuana. Thumbs up. Anyways. So we get to the daily, and it's called Make the Connection. And I listened to it a second time, and TJ says, untie a rope for each of the boxes and retrieve a key to go and then retrieve a bigger key and then to open up to get the skull. So, like, I listened to see if it was unclear. It was very clear that you had to untie the ropes to...
Well, everyone else figured it out, so obviously it was clear. Like,
and he watched other people beforehand.
And you watched other people go. What did you think they were doing? How do you think all of them undid it? Like, use your brain for 2 seconds and be like, oh, maybe I could undo.
He's like, there's knots here, but I could rip it off.
It's such a high level of stupidity. Like, I don't even know how to respond, like how to provide a response to it. Like, you're doing it and not, like, you're literally breaking the equipment. How do you possibly think that you will step off that truck and then they'll be like, okay, yeah, Brad, you did it.
And like, with the fact that like Jodi was really upset that she wasn't able to get through her knots very quickly, and he was like, oh, it's okay, like, we'll figure it out. It's like, he even mentioned to her, like, I actually screwed this up for us. Like, I know.
That is so funny that you say that, because that's the first thing, because she like went up and she was like, oh, like, Brad, and like felt so bad. And I was like waiting. I was like, okay, are you going to say what you did? No? Oh, okay. That's fine. Like,
so nobody really was able to do this well. So they had a 3-minute time limit before they needed to get to the ropes, get to the second level, and get the skull on a certain mat. And so the only team that was able to do this within the 3 minutes was Nehemiah and Melinda. So I was actually ecstatic that they didn't even need to win because they were going automatically to the final. And they basically can choose who's going to be going up against each other at the perfect time. So I was so thrilled for Melinda. I think this is their first probably like daily win right?
Mhm.
Her and Nehemiah didn't win before. They almost came close, but they didn't win. So I was very happy for them. And I love the fact that TJ calls out Brad and is like, you decide to hulk through the boxes. Like, that's not how you do that when I say to untie the rope. So you're DQ'd and going straight into the arena.
It was such poetic justice. I was so happy.
So great.
I was so happy. I was so happy.
Well, the thing is, too, that they probably would have thrown those two in anyways, I would think, but there would have been a chance that they didn't go in if they didn't fall into the bottom, right? Like, if it was, say Ayanna and Teck were the worst in the end and they were automatically going in, I'm sure that they would try to put somebody that they had a better chance at beating. So they might have been able to save themselves not going to elimination if they had to made sure that they were going in for sure. So Brad, screw this one up for you, Jodi. You should not partner with Brad.
Oh yeah, big time. I think they're a bad partnership. There's something about like Brad that doesn't make Jodi feel comfortable. And I don't mean that he's like inappropriate with her or something, but I think she's just so afraid of like
pissing him off,
doing something that she can't like just like relax and like focus.
She worked better with Derrick, we have to admit.
Yeah, she worked better with Derrick because I think that they had a bit more of like a reciprocal relationship, and so she listened to him, he listened to her. I think with Brad, she feels like she always had to prove something to him and prove that she was good and ask him if it was okay. And you know, like I don't think she was confident when she was with Brad, but she was confident, it seemed, when she was with Derrick. I agree.
For sure.
You know? So they had some good music playing. One was like, "It's a Beautiful Life." And I was so excited when Nehemiah and Melinda won. It's like, yes, it was great. So Brad is going to be going into the elimination with Jodi. And I was like, thought for sure it was going to be Darrell and Janelle that was going to be going in next to them. Did you think that there was even a chance that Jonna was going to be going in with MJ? Like, Jonna was scared, like so scared.
She was really scared. I wanted them to go in. If I'm honest with you, like I really wanted MJ and Jonna to see a elimination. I wanted to see what they do.
I was pretty confident that Jonna and MJ could figure out how to beat Brad and Jodi depending on what the elimination was. And then also I was scared because of Janelle. I was like, if they have to go in, she's going to fuck it up for Darrell, and that's just going to frustrate me. So felt like it was leading up to that so much. And I don't know if it's just a prelude for the actual final now. We'll see. But like, yeah. So I was really hoping it would be MJ and Jonna because I was like, they'll have a chance. I think they'll have a higher chance of beating them. Like I was like, oh, Janelle's screwed.
Yeah, I was just like, oh man. But we did see something that we hadn't seen yet was Janelle in what it looked like to be the final, like on top of a hill. We'd already seen that preview for weeks now. So I already had an idea that was what was going to happen. So I was just like kind of annoyed, I guess, that like Janelle was so worried because I'm like, well, we'd already know that it's not you. So that's how I was feeling. And we know we see Janelle in the hallway. We saw that from like week 2. We saw Janelle in the hallway. She got no confessionals. We saw her in the trailers that she's going to be in the arena hallway. So I was like,
yeah, I fucking hate that. I hate that because you forget about it. And then like as soon as you're watching the show, then you're like, oh, wait a second. And then you remember it and you're like, oh, okay, well, it just takes all the steam out of it. I mean, this elimination, I was still on the edge of my seat, but
me too.
Even though I knew what was going to happen, I was on the edge of my seat. I definitely loved it.
I didn't know. I didn't remember the preview. I forget about the previews. I try
I talked about the show twice, so we pick apart a lot of things. So it will be more likely for me to remember, and so I'm happy that you at least don't notice these things. Or like don't like you watch it just once and forget about it. I usually have to watch it a couple times. So Melinda and Nehemiah are the power couple. They choose for Darrell and Janelle to be going in, and well, obviously, and MJ and Jodi to be having on the selection board. And so this is going to mean that it's going to have Teck and Ayanna to most likely be the people that are deciding who's going to be going in against Jodi and Brad. So I love that Teck and Ayanna have some power here too. They've been just kind of discarded from that other side. So I love seeing them just like so worried. It just felt good that finally they got a taste of their own medicine, with the King's Palace having all the power, drinking champagne, Teck in a robe. Like, they made the season.
Yeah.
They really did.
We do see our girl Janae, though, going to work right after she goes and sits down and starts talking to Ayanna on that floaty. And this is where Janae shines with how she can communicate with people in this game. And she put some work in on Ayanna.
Oh, yeah.
So what am I talking about here? Oh, it was more Janelle. I think this was where the actual conversation happened, where she talks about her being a surgical nurse. And I was just so frustrated for Darrell this whole time. And so I was just like, she just better get it together or take some sort of shot in her back that can relax those muscles. Like, I don't know, do something or leave. I just don't want you to make him feel bad about wanting to be in the game.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
This is Darrell's job. Right? She has her surgical job. This is Darrell's job. And you decided to come and work with him. And then because of something outside of Darrell's job is more important, might be taking away that opportunity from him. I was just so frustrated. Yeah. Especially because he thought when we saw in the beginning that I have a really great partner. We've known each other for a long time. I was the reason why she started in this real world journey. And then she just was willing to give up one of his dreams. It says to provide for his family. I was frustrated. F that. So we get to this election part. And we do hear finally a confessional from Janelle saying that she did feel selfish for taking away this opportunity from Darrell. Thank you for having this realization, because I was very frustrated before that point. And I died when Ayanna says, I prepared words. She can prepare words anytime she wants to. I feel like I need to start following her on social media, because I need to hear an Ayanna rant once a week or so. What do you have words? Anyways, it was great. Basically,
that was my reaction when she was like, I prepared words. I literally out loud was like, what do you mean you prepared words? This isn't your thing right now.
She's everything.
It's so ludicrous and it's so funny because she always fucking has a speech for every mundane event. But I was like, what? Again, another speech? Hilarious.
Basically, she's saying that the person that she's going to pick is someone that she thinks is going to be able to go head to head with against Jodi and Brad. And so her vote was for Darrell and Janelle to go in there. And then they decide to split the vote. So Teck actually chooses Janae and MJ, leaving the power couple with all the power and making the decision. And so Janae was, sweating because she was worried that maybe Nehemiah would be vengeful because she just threw him in the previous week. But he wasn't. He decided to go and put Darrell in the firing squad because he knows that his history is really good at finals. He's only lost one final, and in that one he lost by 10 minutes and he came in second. So I think it was the smart decision. I didn't really see any other way. But right after the selection process, we see Jonna thanking him and crying and being so grateful to Nehemiah for this. And I think this is partially some future game playing, just mending some fences here. It's
of course.
Okay, this is done, right?
Absolutely. That was meant to be that was totally meant to be a reset, because if she wasn't thinking ahead, it would have just been whatever, I've been throwing you in this entire season. But she was okay, I gotta think ahead here.
like, this is done now, right? But we're good. We're friends now. You forgive me. So I just love that she was even thinking, I feel, for future games about her relationship with Nehemiah. So I thought that was smart politicking there. Thank you very much. And so, of course, they're going to pick Darrell and Janelle. They're going to be going down there. MJ and Jonna also, though, didn't face any sort of elimination this season. They never went down to the arena. And this is the second season in a row that Jonna is able to get to the finale or with the final without having faced any elimination. So do you think that this will be possible for season 3, or do you think that now she'll have a target?
She'll have a target.
You think?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because there's just always so many big personalities, especially on these old school seasons with like actual entertaining people. And I just, she's really good at staying out of the line of fire. I think it'll just depend on if she wins this final. If she wins, obviously she's going to be a bigger threat than if she doesn't win. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree-ish. I actually think that she'll still be able to hide even if she wins. There's something that I feel is very non-threatening about Jonna, that people are willing just to keep her in there long term. And so I still think that people will think that they can beat her and that she's not a big threat. So I think that she would be able to actually do it again, which will be funny. And I'd be here to see that, even if whether she wins or she doesn't, like if she's able to get to the end again, it'd be kind of cool.
I agree.
And she's just a good politicker. Yes. So Jodi is really close. She wants to do it for her family. She's the last season that she played was the duel, and she won that one. So she wants to at least be able to run the finals so that she can, have a full complete season. She's so close. So the fact that she's got 2 of those same confessionals as like, it kind of confirmed for me that she was going to be the one leaving. But we'll still watch this episode because I love the challenge. So this was a beautiful moment. So Darrell had some letters from his family that he was only supposed to open up right before the final. And he felt that this was pretty close enough to the final that he could start getting some, good vibes from his family. So he opened his first letter, and it was from his wife, who had a picture of his grandma, who I believe had passed away. And he gets the first time I think I've ever seen Darrell emotional. And he's going to run with it in his pocket, I guess doing this elimination within his pocket so that he can have like her energy. And I thought it was a very sweet moment to see the softer side of Darrell.
It was so sweet.
So sweet, but we get to something not as sweet, which is the arena. There are 2 rooms. It's a smash house.
I love it.
How much do you love it?
Love Smash House.
Yes, you're into it, Barta? Have you done a Smash House before in real life?
No, you can do that? No. That's a thing?
Yeah, people do it for like birthday parties. You can like demolish a room.
What the fuck?
It's like a thing. My friend was asking if I wanted to do that for a party. Yeah,
I would do it.
God.
It's so totally like you can do it to like release aggression or whatever. But you could totally, depending on what size room that you want, like you can totally have a smash. Did you look it up, or you just listen to me?
No, I'm looking it up right now. I'm like, oh my God.
Right? Anyways, so I love that you didn't know that this existed, and I'm so excited for you to go to your first Smash House. I loved this elimination. I thought it was perfectly evenly matched with, how strong and fit both Darrell and Brad were. And basically, they had these 2 rooms that they had to smash everything down into. The first one was 6, I think, inches, a 6-inch hole where their partner was on the other side to catch these larger pieces, smash them down into smaller pieces, and fit it through I think it was like a 3-inch hole into a vessel which is going to be weighed after. So the heaviest, I don't know what is it, container is going to be the winner of this one. So I thought it was so good. The only thing that I would like to change about it it was something that my co-host from I was just talking to mentioned, Drew. He said that it would have been better if it was more like the one that we saw in Bloodlines, where it was a room where they had to like rip apart like a chair and stuff like that, and just because it was just all cinder blocks, and for the most part that were in those containers, which would be obviously very heavy and something that you could smash and get some pieces that were sizable and weighty. And so if they had to like rip apart like a chair and stuff like that, like it might have equalized it a little bit better. But regardless, I thought it was a fantastic elimination before the final.
And it was so close.
It was
off by 2 pounds.
2 pounds. 2 pounds separated them.
1 kilo.
Well, kilo is 2.2 pounds actually.
I know. I was just laughing because like Teck was like, "Wow," and like I think like a few people didn't really like know what a kilo was.
Yeah.
So I also was like, well, it's not actually a kilo if it's only 2 pounds, but I'll give it to you. It's close if you want to round down. But like what they could have just said 2 pounds. They don't have to say 1 kilo when it's not even actually 1 kilo.
I know, like no, what?
Just say 2 pounds.
Say 2 pounds. I had to like Google it. I was like, okay, 2.2.
And then it was 2. Anyways, I was just like, I didn't understand why. Maybe it was actually 2.2 and they only said 2 just to make the number more round. But like, then just say it was separated by 2 pounds, not 1 kilo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one sounds closer together. I don't know. It was silly. But Janelle and Darrell won by 2 pounds, sending Jodi and Brad home right before the final. I was here for it. I wish that Janelle was in better competing shape, but I was happy that Darrell at least gets to attempt the final and wasn't taken out early.
Agreed.
Definitely happy about that. They were playing the song though, "Walking on Broken Glass." I'm like, you guys had some good music, some bops this week. Absolutely. Anything else happened in this episode?
Well, I mean,
TJ does say, "See you both in the future." I really hope we see you in the future. So that seems to me that Jodi will be invited back, and no Brad's coming back for season 3. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Fan, what did you say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, the final basically starts at the end of this episode. Like TJ is like, "Okay, the final starts now. Like, meet you on the beach."
Whoa! Oh, we have Andre. He was looking for you beforehand. But we were in the other channel because I was streaming it through this channel as well. And so it's like, "Where's Michelle? Where's Fanta? They are here. They are here." So sweet. Janelle is a Karen in the wild on the challenge. Fanta, she kind of did wake up after the past episode because of the saying about her. I'm like, I thought you were saying Fanta just woke up. I'm like, oh really? What did Fanta do?
I wish
about her. Yeah, they did.
I wish I just woke up. Damn it.
You wish. So what do you guys think about the challenge the final starting right now?
It's kind of unfair to Darrell and Janelle, but
yeah, like he walked out and his shirt was soaking wet. Like they need a minute.
I know. That's a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears that went in smashing all those cinder blocks. Like that's a lot of energy. So I definitely think it's unfair in that sense. Like just allow Janelle an opportunity to ice her back and take a nice bath maybe and like get prepared. But Drew was also mentioning that maybe this will just be the overnight portion. So they'll do like a little mini thing and then have the night portion and then have the whole long day be the second bit instead of it just being like climb the mountain the second day. So that's kind of what we have deduced as to be the reason for starting it right now is just doing the overnight part right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, baby. Well, this was fun. How I've missed you both. It was really great catching up. I'm glad that we can get all these episodes up to date and in the vault. Any last thoughts about what's gone on these last 3 episodes and your hopes for the final?
I hope that it's exciting. I hope they all finish it. And I'd be happy with a Melinda Nehemiah win. I'm also happy with a Ayanna and Teck win, which I don't think will happen, but I'd be happy with that. I'd also be happy with Janelle Darrell winning. I'd be happy with anyone winning, Jonna and MJ. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with anything that happens at this point.
Same.
Yeah, I'm pretty fine with anything that happens.
I just want to see some epicness, you know?
Me too. So Amy Sue says, Darrell said on Patreon that Janelle wanted to quit so that Brad could win and that it was not all about her back. Why does she care?
She's like best friends with Brad.
I guess. I mean, they do have these talks, but like, that's so whack.
Yeah, why quit? That's so dumb.
It's so annoying. Adrian says, I've said many times, I'm excited that we are guaranteed a Black person winning this season. That, I mean, unless it's only, well, if it's a pair, then yes. Unless they split into solos, then there's a slight chance that maybe Melinda could pull out the solo win.
I think they'll stay as pairs, is my guess, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too. Any final words, Panties?
Oh, I'm gonna book a smash room. It's been a slice.
Yes. If you guys have any recommendations of any smash room, let us know, especially in the Greater Toronto area or in Vancouver or out west, anywhere out west. I would love to hear about that. And if you've ever experienced a smash room, please let us know in the comments about what that was like. We would love to hear you. So see you next week for the final. The finals here. Bye.
Woo, woo, woo.